Any public comments, Mr. Garcia? We have one public comment. Which agenda item is it, Ms. Sandoval?
It's not. It's not on the agenda.
Okay,
It's just an advisory.
okay.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Morning.
As of yesterday afternoon, we are unable to access our PADI system to collect taxes. This morning, I checked with our vendor, Harris Govern. They are able to access the program through the server, but we keep getting connection failure. So, as of yesterday afternoon, we can't collect. I did speak to Mr. Adame yesterday, and he basically said it's just the internet connection in this building. We're working on it, but as of right now, I just need to advise the court that we can't collect.
Thank you, Ms. Sandoval. Any other public comments?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I have a appointment sent to me, so I'll be in the 11:50.
Yes, sir. One point.
Can I, just mark your question?
No, not a public comment. Approval of minutes or regular meeting December 11th.
So moved, additional correction.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Carmona. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, approval of bonds. No bonds, no action. 2.2, discussion and appropriate action to approve Dirkskin Engineering to prepare, the survey for the site, including existing trees, topography, and as required for the design of the Dimmit County Sports Complex. Are there any questions? Motion by Commissioner, Juan Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any other discussion?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, sir. On the topography, how does that work? Is there a picture over the whole area?
We designated from where the water is to past the existing for the arena. So all of that from this street, from the 2nd Street Lorry and
Right.
industrial from that street to here, the entire topography of the entire site, including utilities and easements. You got some gas lines and some things on the rear.
So basically what I'm asking, if that is an extra cost for the picture of the aerial, is it an aerial or just a ground shot?
It's not an aerial picture, it's
Okay.
the topography.
Okay.
It's gonna be using a drone, as I
Yeah,
understand.
that's what I was going by, if it's gonna be like an aerial shot or,
It's not a picture, it's a topography.
I understand, but it's the ground right here.
Yes, it's pretty
Okay.
flat, but,
Mr. C, you're aware that there's a big fiber line there, right?
yeah. On the rear,
By the complex, where you're gonna build the complex. So how, are you gonna get a survey of all of that area?
this is, I understand we got some lines on Lorry Street, right? And there's a gas line, and
No, there is fiber, whatever they call it.
Fiber optic.
Yeah, a big line right through the middle, goes directly to the jail.
but this is running out parallel to the street, right?
According to Texas Dictas, when we laid a water line last time, I called one call, and they marked a fiber optic line, pretty much from where the water well is at, on that side, going to the sheriff's department. It's still marked, actually.
They'll mark it up. They're gonna call those people.
But just so you be aware, so we don't heat it and then we're gonna.
Other utilities should be marked.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.3, discussion appropriate action.
Okay.
2.3, discussion and appropriate action to approve PSI Intertech to perform geotechnical exploration as required for the design of the sports complex.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I just want to let the record reflect that Mr. Pereira, our auditor, has advised the court that he is running 45 minutes late, and the court does have certain questions for him, and he's not here. 2.4, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 1, Ms. Sonia Guerrero Perez for the month of November 2023.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning, Judge. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second? I'll second it. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
I do have a comment. We are also having trouble with our internet. This morning, the girls could not log on, and during the time we're taking payments, it will turn off. We also are having trouble with their phones. The girls will pick up the phones. I know that Alicia was attacked yesterday because the gentleman said, "You're hanging up on me, you're being very rude." She said, "It's not me, sir, we're having a hard time with their phones." So if y'all do receive calls or complaints, we're not hanging up on constituents by no means. We're just having a hard time with their phones and are taking payments. We are also still entering citations manually. We have not merged with Southern Software. So I don't know what the status is with Southern Software. I did reach out to John, and he said he was waiting for Southern Software to take care of that. So my staff is still, and Judge Esquivel's staff is still entering tickets manually, and we are receiving them pretty much daily by the Sheriff's Office, so it is a big amount, so just to inform you.
Thank you, Judge. And we're going to take note of the whole internet situation.
Thank you.
Another reason why we were needing Mr. Pereira here, unfortunately, he's not here at the moment. So I wish I had better answers for you and Ms. Sandoval. But,
I told Mr. Pereira about it yesterday.
so he was aware of it. Unfortunately, Mr. Pereira is not here, so that he can further answer some of those questions that this court may have or other elected officials. As I mentioned, he's advised my office that he's running late, 45 minutes late.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted to let the court be aware of the situation in case y'all get any complaints or concerns. That is what we're dealing with at the moment.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Well, that's countywide, ma'am.
Mhm.
We're all having issues.
Thank you, ma'am. This 2.5, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 2, Mr. Alberto Esquivel for the month of November 2023.
Good morning.
Morning.
Judge,
Yes.
before we start, I got a call about JP Esquivel. They called the church office, they called the fire department, they called the state fire marshal, that there was some howling at the city park. They thought it was like Corona. So when they were investigating, there was a certain judge there crying, howling and lost, just for your information.
Not for the record, Mr. Garcia. Take notes, Judge. Is there any questions on Judge Alberto Esquivel's report?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge. You have a Merry Christmas. 2.6, discussion and appropriate action. Monthly report from JP Precinct 3, Ms. Leticia Hernandez for the month of November 2023. Let the record reflect that the county judge's office was advised that Judge Hernandez is not going to be available.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.7, discussion and appropriate action. Monthly report from JP Precinct 4, Mr. Alfredo Martinez for the month of November 2023. Again, let the record reflect that JP Martinez advised the county judge's office that he had a personal urgent matter that arose as of yesterday and that he would not be able to attend.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Uranda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.8, discussion and appropriate action. Monthly report from District Clerk Ms. Marisela Gonzalez for the month of November 2023.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Morning. Are there any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion? Just a quick comment, Ms. Gonzalez. I know that you and I briefly discussed yesterday in regards to the issues with your internet. We have been advised, this court has been advised as well. I know that my office has been having concurrent issues as well with the phones. My particular office in the back has no internet. This court has been advised, as Commissioner Alonso mentioned, it seems like it's a county-wide thing. So we've taken notice of it. As I reiterated a little while ago to Ms. Sandoval and to Judge Sonia Perez right now, is that the man with some of the answers is not here. Unfortunately, Mr. Pereira, so just please bear with us. I do want you to know that I specifically am trying to work with Commissioner Juan so that we can rectify this problem. I know it's unfortunate, it's bad for business and it's bad for our constituents because they get upset and angry because they can't get a hold of us or they can't pay their taxes. But I do want to assure you that we're working on trying to find a resolution to this problem.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ms. G, right before you leave,
Judge, on the same note, I'm sorry. Let me turn up my chichara.
and the gentleman will be here to- for the door issue.
Oh, great,
Okay?
great,
I was
okay,
just notified, so,
appreciate
he'll be here too.
it, thank you.
Marky, are we Spectrum right now?
Yeah.
Judge, in my house, I mean, it keeps going down.
So like the main reason why it
Marty,
goes.
can you come forward, please?
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead, Marky.
Yeah, so like the main reason why it goes down is because as of right now, a lot of people move to this building, so they use the internet. And the phones are VoIP, which means they use the internet as well. And the reason the server cuts off as well is because everyone's using the internet. So we got with David, and I believe yesterday or 2 days ago, Spectrum came, and they saw the equipment, and they said it was old, like 6 or 7 years old. So they gave us new equipment. But as of right now, I guess the phones, they're still dropping. But the internet speed is, I believe, 300 download speed, and they said that is pretty slow compared to a big building. And I believe everywhere else in the county, it's fine. It's only the 3rd story, but the 3rd story feeds internet to the fire station. So really, it's only this building as well.
I understand.
So I guess the next step would be to upgrade the internet plan
I
with
thought at
with
some
Spectrum.
point we had, Mr. Pereira had advised the court, Markey, that, Mr. Mendez, that we were upgrading in terms of the server to increase it to be able to be utilized by everybody in the building.
So like the server was at the auditors, and that holds the internet, but that's just it processes the internet and the users. But the speed itself, you can only upgrade that through Spectrum. And that's like a payment plan through the auditors, I guess you can say.
And just to clarify, we recently, as of maybe last month through Commissioner's Court, approved for us to go with Spectrum, because we didn't have Spectrum before, in terms of internet.
In terms of internet, I do believe we've always had Spectrum in this building. It's just that the AT&T, those are the phone lines. So we have AT&T phone lines, but we have Spectrum internet. That's just as of I know.
But you mentioned right now that the phone lines are now connected with they run through the internet.
Yeah, they've always been like that. They've been VoIP.
Marky, my understanding is, like the judge was saying, we did upgrade with those guys. They charged us an arm and a leg.
Yeah, they did upgrade it, and then as soon as they did the upgrade, that's as soon as we started having the issues. So I've been working with them, and Chris has been here with me, and we've done testing. Some people have seen us working together, and it still hasn't gone up.
So essentially, we paid just to have bad service, because I feel that, I know at least I can only speak for myself when I got here in January, and I even, obviously when Miss Mari's office moved over here, and initially everything was working fine.
Yeah, it
It
was.
wasn't until we upgraded that for whatever reason, we started having.
It was for the emails going down, and the emails haven't gone down since, but now we have this bigger issue of like the internet dropping, which disconnects Mary's packs because it can't have a stable connection because the phones are dropping as well.
I can tell you specifically from personal knowledge, my staff in the front, where the secretaries sit, they normally have internet all the time, but my office, I don't have internet. And it's very odd, but for whatever reason, we're in the same office, but they have internet, I don't. So there's obviously some issue with the internet, and I think it's unfortunate. I mean, we did pay a lot of money to get it upgraded, and it seems to me that ever since we did that upgrade, it hasn't been working properly.
I don't know, maybe talking to the architect, finding out if this building was made for so much internet usage or tower, whatever we have. Because, like, I can understand what you're saying, everybody moving over here. Maybe we have like a surge protector, let's just say that, that's over capacity, and then it meets its maximum, and then it shuts off.
Yeah, so I think the next step that I would advise is to see and looking to upgrade the internet plan.
It's the speed, essentially.
Yeah.
We just need to.
Because
But I can understand him saying, before everybody moved, there was no issues, and then.
Well, even when they moved, we still didn't have issues because we were all here when we moved and we didn't have any issues.
No, I'm talking about the additions of the JPs and all.
No, when the JPs were here,
but
Ms.
what I'm
Mari
asking
was
is-
here.
But I'm asking right now, since we're trying to change service, maybe like a surge protector.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think
I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just putting my 2 cents worth, just saying that maybe the capacity, the courthouse is not to hold that much capacity. That's all I'm saying. Regardless if we have the issue or not, that's something to be solved. But I would check to see if the wiring was made for an extra load up.
Yeah,
You see where I'm going?
Do you have anybody with Spectrum that we can address this like, directly? That can
Yeah.
show their face?
Yes, I did speak with someone and they said 300 download speed for a whole building is kind of slow, especially when people do
So what was
stream.
their recommendation?
I would say
They're holding the power behind it, so what's their recommendation?
I would do a gigabyte internet speed for the building because the phones use the internet as well, and also if you stream music to listen to, that uses a lot as well.
Who's
So
using music?
it's
He's
just
just saying in general, if anybody uses it
yeah.
for things, but let's say for instance, like when Judge Flores is here in the third floor, she uses Zoom. And Ms. Madi can attest that when I've been in her court, and you go in there and she has like 20 people on Zoom for people all over, that's a streaming service. So that, when Judge Flores is here, honestly, all of our computers are pretty much down because she utilizes the technology a lot when she conducts her court. So, I mean, you know, Madi, I mean, I think one time she had like over 50 people on Zoom, correct?
And several devices.
Yes, and several different devices. So that's, if you include all the employees at this courthouse alone, you already have more on Zoom with her. So then, I know when we were having discussion early on with Mr. Mendez's father, Mr. Mendez, he advised me when he came to come talk to me that we should have been, a long time ago, should have been at about anywhere between 1 and 2 or 3 gigabytes or something to that effect for you to have solid internet. Any governmental office at this capacity should be at 1 to 3 gigabytes is what your dad advised
Yeah,
me.
so it would just be a matter of increasing the payment for the speed itself. Because right now we have 300 download speed, but that's for the whole building
And the fire department,
and the fire department.
correct.
Mr. Mendez, get a hold of whoever you need to get a hold of with Spectrum. Tell them to come visit the judge and give them a proposal so we can correct these problems, sir. It bothers me because I'm in charge of everything and I don't have problems with anything. If they can't do it, look for another company.
Okay. Yeah, I did get with David from Halifax, and
No,
he
don't get with David.
No, he was the.
Call the company and let them know what we need to do to correct this problem.
Yeah, but he was also the one that got with Spectrum and helped me get the meeting, so we did the
You're our
equipment.
man here.
No, yeah, I understand, but we also
You just
pay
tell the
them.
judge, I'm gonna make this call, okay? And I'm gonna tell them to present us whatever we need to do to upgrade this thing and get rid of this problem. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to call David, you don't have to call Pereira. You call that company and let them know that you wanna increase the pipes or whatever and give us a proposal. That's all we need.
Yeah. No, I still think it would have to go through David though, at the end of the day though.
Why?
Why does it?
Because we pay them through, so we would still have to talk to Carlos first to get it. So that's what I'm just trying to
That's
say.
how it's
We
set up.
did
Yeah.
away with,
No, we're still paying them for internet though.
for backup only, but
No.
no,
Yeah, that's what we're missing Carlos for.
where's that?
No, well, Carlos is not here.
Still on it, no?
Okay, so I know it's not your fault, but I'll get with Mr. Pereira.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just telling you how it is, but.
Yeah, yes.
Because essentially, when we came to Commissioner's Court, if you can recall, we specifically got moved away from Halifax, and Halifax was just supposed to be hired as a contractual basis for the backup of the server, not for being a provider of our internet, a provider of our telephone services. So I'm not too clear as to why we have to go through David to change internet provider or to change internet provider. So if you want, come visit me, Marky, and we'll work on it together so that we can look for a different internet provider.
Yeah, because he was the one that advised me for that as well. Like, we would have to upgrade the plan. So I was like, oh, okay, so we're still doing it through y'all, and he confirmed. So I was like, oh,
Well,
okay.
we shouldn't, and unfortunately, Mr. Pereira is not here so that we can ask Pereira why we're paying Halifax to still assist us for internet and phone when we had clearly, voted in court that that's not what we were gonna do. So we'll get together And we'll wait for Mr. Pereira to get here. We really can't have any answers without Mr. Pereira. Thank you. Any other discussion?
I'm sorry I lost my cool judge, but when we made that recommendation, we told him that we didn't want to do anything with Ciudad Fox, we needed to change companies, we were gonna do it. He assured us that there were gonna be no more problems. And here we were at the same place, at the same time, with the same questions.
I agree wholeheartedly. I was sitting here when we all approved for us to just have Halo Fox on contract for a backup server. And I believed at the time that we were going to Spectrum and that we were not going to have these problems anymore. And if Spectrum or whoever at IT knew that we needed to have higher gigabyte services, then we should have done that at that time. I mean, essentially, we're, as a county, our taxpayers, when we're having to pay double when we could have just fixed the problem the first time, instead of having to have these issues. And Ms. Mary, I'm sure you have angry constituents. You do. I know my office, they've been mad because we can't answer phones. I mean, our phones are not working. So,
I got a district judge, and I gave her my word that I was gonna take care of this.
well, I mean, there has to be a resolution somewhere. There has to be accountability, either with department heads or electeds or something, but we have to essentially, I mean, like I said, it's bad for business. We can't conduct business here in this courthouse. I don't know, Mr. Ortiz, are y'all having problems at your office?
No, we're good. Every once in a while, our email will go down, but other than that, the internet's working.
Who's there, internet?
I don't know, Mr. Pereira might have a special internet for them over there, I don't know.
I was gonna tell you,
We bounce internet off of the sheriff's office, right?
See,
We do.
their
Off the
internet is
sheriff's
off the
office.
sheriff's.
I had a similar problem once, but there's an app that you download on your phone. So when they were coming in to hook up our equipment, I would open that app and it would show me the download speed and the actual running speed of the actual internet. And if it wasn't what was in the contract, I would tell them to take their equipment because they know that we don't know about technology, so they try to sell it like, for example, we just talked about an upgrade. We're supposed to get improved. We paid more money and instead we're walking backwards. But they know that we don't have the stuff to check, so.
I wouldn't call it that we don't know about technology because we got an IT person, he knows more than what I would know about technology, so I wouldn't downgrade.
I'm not downgrading, I'm trying to say that.
I don't, but the way you're saying.
Don't
it
put
is-
your hand up
No,
on
no,
me.
no.
Don't put your hand up on me.
Well, listen to me.
No, I'm talking.
The thing is that you seem to know more than anything else that goes around here. The thing is that this is a county issue. This has nothing to do with private business or anything. To me, you're downgrading the IT person.
I'm not
Because
downgrading.
you're saying,
I'm telling
you're
you,
saying
they
that
come
we're
and
not
sell you
familiar with
something.
IT.
Okay, so what happened? Tell me what happened.
happened.
Then you know.
No, no, I don't know nothing about it.
Well, then why are you interrupting me?
Because I'm telling you that
Gentlemen.
you.
Get away from me. Get back.
Hey.
You're invading my space. Get back.
Jesus
Stop.
Christ.
Yes, you've done it
Commissioner.
before, and I'm not gonna have you do it
You've
again.
done it to yourself.
Commissioners,
I don't have a problem with it.
we'll get back, commissioners, we'll get back into
Whenever you
it.
want, Commissioner.
Whatever.
Commissioners, we're not going to do this. We gotta be
I
professional.
just don't agree with him.
Merry Christmas.
That downgrading. What are you trying to tell me with
Merry
that?
Christmas.
No, 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 don't tell me.
Do you understand English?
Trying to tell me something.
Merry Christmas.
No.
Gentlemen,
Commissioner, let's
I
get,
can say something else.
Say whatever you
no,
want.
we're gonna stay
That's all I see.
I know, but we're gonna stay professional.
Well, I'm saying professional, but it seems that.
Sir, you take everything wrong. I was
No,
just
no,
trying
no.
to tell the court that we
No.
always get stuff. They sell us something, it's not what, we don't get what we're expecting. Did we not all agree on an upgrade?
That's it.
No, no, let me
that's what
talk.
we're
Did we
supposed
not
to
all
say.
agree on an upgrade? And we're paying more, are we not? And instead, we're having issues. That's all I'm saying.
No, but you're bringing in that with technology, and this, I took it as this young man is not.
That's right, you took it like that.
But you seem to think it like that because you sometimes bring a lot of private business outside that has to do nothing with the county, and you discuss it, I do this, I do that, over there. No, this is a county issue. This has nothing to do with the private service, or what we do out there
You're
on
not
our
making
own.
sense anymore.
Huh? No, you're trying to make it look like that. But I can tell you for a fact, and I rest my case on that, that Nobody's here to be degraded.
Nobody downgrading.
Well, it's really but there's a problem.
Yes. I had a motion for report, Ms. Mari's report, Ms. Gonzalez's, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. 2.9, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Clerk, Mr. Mario Garcia for the month of November 2023.
President Commission, we had a very good month, including county court as well. And as far as any issues with my phone or internet, we're good. So don't touch anything over there.
I will. I'm sorry, I won't.
That's all I have to.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second
Second.
by Commissioner Juan Carmona.
Judge, and, may I-
Discussion, yes, sir.
Judge, just for the record, anybody that has problems, they ought to contact me. I'm his boss. If there's a problem, I'll take care of it. Come to you, and I'll let you know, we're gonna have to do this, or I'll get marked. So there's no need for us to get into it. Just, any problems, call me direct. I don't have a problem with dealing with these problems.
On a different note, I just wanted to give you my gratitude, Mr. Garcia, because we've been having county court, criminal county court, and Mr. Garcia, we've worked out different logistics. So obviously we have court here, and he brings his staff with the credit card machine, and we're able to collect fees and fine at the day of court. And we've been able to increase, historically speaking, the number of fines that we've collected from county court. So I want to thank you for that, for working with my office so that we can better provide a service to the individuals that come before court. So thank you very much.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know, because I've had the attorneys approach me advising me that they like that because the service is right there. They don't have to walk across the street. So thank you so much. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Also, Mr. G, as you're aware, we've been working a lot around the wiring system and lighting. So we're trying to do our best this year. Sadly, we couldn't do any Christmas lights because the outside wiring was terrible. And like the gentleman said, you know, he was surprised that nobody ever got shot from. But it's actually, and we talked about it before, so I told the judge, we're doing the best we can. So hopefully by next year by next year we should be able to do whatever we can. And we agree, we're gonna discuss also in the future about the elevator because they're just temporary tricks. And he already suggested that I'm gonna get together with the judge and see if we can purchase a whole new elevator.
Yes, and on that note, thank you. Just for the record, so that if anyone does inquire in terms of that elevator, Commissioner Alonso Carmona has discussed with me, and there is a very high probability that we are going to need to replace that elevator. Like you said, it's kind of just putting a Band-Aid on it right now, a temporary fix. However, because it is a historical building, we have to go through the proper channels and avenues, and we have to get the consent of the Historical Commission Committee. But just so that the community is aware, we are working diligently to try to get the proper repairs. Furthermore, to add to Commissioner Alonso's comment about the Christmas lights, as he mentioned, there was issues with the electrical, but I do want to assure the community, because I know our office has gotten calls from some angry constituents as to why does the judge not want to put Christmas lights? Maybe she's a Grinch or a Scrooge, but I have no control over the historical courthouse, and there is some issues with electrical. So just for the record, that's the reason why there was no Christmas lights this year. In case they go ask you, because I know some people have called our office, and I'm sure, I know Ms. Belinda said they've called y'all's office, like why Why haven't you put lights?
I gotten calls, but I explained to them that
Yeah.
I'd rather not have lights and then someone sees it.
We have gotten real good comments with the new lighting at night. I mean, it's just
Right.
spectacular, I guess, that's the word.
Mr. Commissioner?
My recommendation would be for you to put it on the agenda so we could address all the problems.
But we're getting
No,
it
he
together.
is.
We're
Yeah,
getting.
no, I know, pero digo, como, por ejemplo, the outside, if we need to rewire everything, right now is the
Your
time,
word.
because later on it's gonna get harder to get money. Right now is the time to fix what we have to fix.
And that's what we're doing.
Mhm.
It's a bundle package.
Okay. Just a suggestion.
Security's better and stuff like that, so.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.10, discussion appropriate action, monthly report from Dimmit County Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. David Torres, for the month of November 2023.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As you can see, the month of November, we only had a total of 3 calls, which I can say is good. The only major call that we had was going to be the reported oil well explosion that we had on 1558 on the Delgasa Ranch, where I believe it came through the news and everything where we had it reported already.
Any questions?
So,
Thank you, Commissioner. Motion by Commissioner Moncarmona. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Torres.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
2.11, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from county commissioners for the month of November. Any questions on precinct 1? Questions on precinct 2?
Judge,
Monday.
on the Bikini Lane and 1557, we're holding back, payment, the last of the
Disbursement?
The disbursement that the gentleman was supposed to get because the roading ain't made to specific cases. I took pictures, and if I may, I can show you one. Or I can show you a couple of them, but, the road is not up to par. This is just done,
Oh, wow.
and then it's got a lot of washboards, and then it's got scraped areas, and then it's got where, you know how the big trucks or whatever roll, it started to make its, I don't know what you call it, but it's starting to going deep, and the corners are not done properly. So,
Wow. That does not look complete.
we're gonna meet sometime next week or January, so to rectify the problems and all those issues, and then we'll finally give them full payment.
Okay.
I sent them to Dan.
And you've advised my office too, so that we won't approve that?
Yes, well, I advise the auditor, but I'll advise.
If you can let my office know, because
It is,
Delma.
Hernandez.
Well, Ms. Hernandez can take note, but just for future reference, because my office is the one that approves the PO first, and then it goes to and if Mr. Pereira does not tell my office, then I won't know.
And then I'll tell them, don't make a PO for it.
Okay,
We're still on hold for that.
okay, yeah, because if my office doesn't know any better, and Mr. Pereira's office doesn't advise mine, then the PO will be approved.
Yes,
Well,
but,
Commissioner, we have to sign off on it, too.
He would.
yeah, but, right now, we're trying to remediate the problem. And that's on my road, so.
Yes, if you could just advise my office, because unfortunately, that's when we run into problems for lack of communication, because as you can see, Mr. Pereira's not here, and somebody tells somebody to tell somebody, and if I'm not advised, there's nothing I can do.
I spoke to them yesterday, I said, any, for this company, don't make POs. But I'll send you the picture.
Please, yes. We can just have a clear line of communication, we won't have any problems, Commish.
No problem.
Any other questions? Any questions on precinct 3 and 6?
No, man, we're we're on schedule with everything, just making, improvements. I don't know if you, well, there's a gentleman over there that's still upset because he's claiming that the road is easy, so we made the improvement of the bridge, the bigger culvert in the country. So, just for your information, if he calls you, it's still county road. If he wants to challenge it, he's welcome to come to Commissioner's Court, or he's welcome to give his own jury. I don't know.
Okay.
It's been used for 18 years, 20 years, so it's legally a county road.
Longer than that. Then they refine, it's been longer than 20 years.
And also, just for the record, in terms of precinct 3, I just want to formally thank all 3 of you commissioners for answering my call, messages to assist the city of Big Wells. Mr. Garcia, they were unfortunately without water for a day or so, and I was advised of that. We try to act promptly and was proactive in trying to, as partners of the city of Big Wells, and all 3 commissioners sitting in this court today assisted in some form or fashion to help the citizens and residents of Big Wells. So thank you for, assisting me and trying to help them, because, when there's something like a dire need of water, it is a big issue. So thank you, gentlemen, for answering my calls. Any other discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval to move forward with parking area at the CSA building, precinct 1.
Judge, this is an informal, for the parking of that CSA building. We're trying to get that done so that we can get these folks in that building. There's 3 different quotes at this point. One of them's to prepare this upgrade for the hot mix, and it's for $25,950. And the other one is for the actual placement of the hot mix, and it's for $40,000. The third quote's for the striping and the stop bars and the signs. But I've been advised that Frontera has $7,000 in their budget for the striping and the signs. There's no stop bars on that parking area because of the sidewalk. So the last quote will be obliterated. We don't need it. It's for $4,900. So we're
But that's going to come out of the Frontera budget.
yes.
Correct.
Correct.
So what's the total?
The total is the $25,950 plus 40.
40,000?
No, 40 and 25. That's 65,950.
65,950.
65?
65,900 for the parking area.
And what were the other quotes?
I didn't get any other quotes because Pereira said as long as it was under 50.
The reason I'm asking you is because even though it's broken down into 3 sections, still the same company is going to be over the 40,000.
50,000.
So we're going to have, if you like, you can put it up for bid. Okay, if we go over the threshold, we're in trouble.
Okay, I can, and that's why I had asked Mr. Pereira, and I wish he was here because I asked him before I did this, and he said, well, he said in essence, even if it's broke down, they would be doing one, and if somebody else came in and did the other one, it'd be 2 different. It's still 2 different jobs.
I know, but is it the same company? Yeah.
Mr. Pereira says a lot of things, sir.
He's on his
And
way.
then
No, he's wrong.
Okay, I'll put it up for because
He is.
Yeah,
No.
as far as I know, if it's the same company.
No, I mean, we have to
It has
just,
to be the 50,000. You would have to go
I'll
up.
get,
one, out of abundance of caution, and 2, going back in all fairness, because that's what we did with the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office, we didn't allow them.
I'll get
To do it.
2 companies to give me quotes on.
And I went through the same process we did right now, and he turned, I explained it to him, and then right at the last minute, it's like, no, it can't be done like that.
Okay.
I said, but you told me, okay.
No, I'll take the recommendation of the board and I'll just get 2 more bids.
And just
Yes, sir.
and just for the record, Mr. Garcia, we can put that on the minutes as well. I know that CSA has reached out and they've been stressing and urging us to have the opening. They do want to move because of their landlord situation where they're currently at. Unfortunately, we've run into some of these issues. So I do want to stress to our constituents, to the staff of the nutrition center and CSA that we're not trying to prevent this from moving forward successfully. It's just that by law, there are certain things we have to do, and Mr. Pereira gives certain answers to certain people. So we unfortunately can't move forward with it today. I know that Commissioner had talked to Mr. Ojeda and had advised them that we would start hopefully with the confirmation of the vote today to start the parking lot. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to do that. So I'll entertain a motion to table so that Commissioner Urenda can get additional quotes and documentation.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.13, discussion and appropriate action, approval to reconnect water and light at Old Capitol Bank drive-through.
Court commissioners, the judge and I had met and have discussed about the possibility of turning on the light and water at the drive-through motor bank for DPS. 'Cause they have a K9 that they want to house in there. So we were gonna start with at least the electrical and water, and then from there, we're gonna get an estimate of see what it costs us to repair, to remove all those existing shelves and stuff like that, and just make it into a simple office. And DPS requested if we could, well, they didn't request, they asked me if we could make it into an office for them, for the K9 dollars.
Questions?
Judge,
Yes, sir.
on the same note, I have recommended to Mr. Commissioner Carmona, Precinct 2, that maybe we could put what do you call them?
We talked about the marquee sign also.
Yes.
Remember, we talked about the marquee sign.
So we can put down Jimmy County protected by DPS, sheriffs, and everything else. You know, like the weather is
The
30
marquee,
below or whatever.
it won't be 30 below in Carrizo Springs anytime soon, but
But, Commissioner, we had discussed it, but right now, we're trying to get the office, and then I was gonna put the marquee sign for
But
an
I just
activation.
wanted it in there just so you don't forget.
No, I don't forget, right now.
Motion.
motion by Commissioner Urenda,
Second.
second by Commissioner Carmona, Juan Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Let me know when you have a time, because I know they wanted to meet with us again, so the actual K9 handler,
Right.
but then you
Right,
had,
right now, it's just the light and water, so once we get set up, I'll call you.
thank you.
That's all I put for the light, I didn't put to construct the office.
No, it's not to construct it, he just wanted to go look at it, remember? But then you had family stuff, so we had to reschedule.
Yes, ma'am. Hopefully by January.
2.14, discussion and appropriate action, approval to hire temporary part-time employee, precinct 2.
So moved.
This is for Road and Bridge, Commissioner.
Yes.
Motion,
Well, he'll be split between Road and Bridge and the courthouse. The maintenance.
it's gonna be maintenance.
To help Joseph.
What's the status on the signs for the parking lot?
We got. And the one of the good things about him that he's one of those, what do you call it?
Handymans?
For the concrete.
Because I know Miss Mary and I are having issues with parking, correct, Miss Mary, hitting vehicles and stuff?
No, we finally got those things in. And as a matter of fact.
I feel like I
I'm not
keep,
gonna say, we could send extra stuff, so it was nothing, but they were already good.
I feel like I keep bothering you about it, but I'm gonna keep bothering you about it because I don't want to have a car accident or Ms. Sandoval have a car accident?
They'll be placed next week.
Thank you,
This guy
Commissioner.
has, like I said, he's familiar with the concrete and stuff, so we're gonna do it. And then we don't have an issue with the concrete that I drilled wrong and then it's all cracking and, but they said I'm not gonna do it.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I was looking at the parking lot. I think if we knock down some of the middle section, you'll have more room to turn and everything else. You know, just leave it like a sidewalk up 3x3 and not use it like for a handicap, for them to travel through there, but to go through the main deal. If you break it down to about just 2 feet.
The island?
Yeah, about 2 feet, you'll have more space all the way around to go in and to come out. Because I know that sometimes when you try to make that turn right there, you almost even get out of the car. And I don't want it to happen like
No, we've
the
had,
men that hit the
I don't mean
pole.
I think I can drive a little bit better than you, Commissioner. I don't mean to put Ms. Mary Sandoval on the spot, but her and I have had these issues before. And like I said, I know I keep bothering Commissioner, but
Maybe one of these that we can put also, Judge, as a recommendation, small cars, small vehicles.
at least on that side, maybe.
Well, but that's what I'm saying because, you know, most like the hospitals or any other,
Compact cars.
It's got small vehicles.
Yes.
Maybe we can identify that as, so we have more room also. Because there's plenty of space around the old courthouse.
And that's exactly my point.
And we did the lanes and all that.
That's,
But I don't know, for some reason, everybody wants to come into this. But, maybe we can put a sign saying just compact cars.
Oh, Mr. President, let's see.
did I have a motion for Commissioner?
Second.
Commissioner Juan Carmona, a motion for approval to hire a temporary part-time for Commissioner Alonso Carmona's precinct, and then Commissioner Odena seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2.15, discussion and appropriate action, approval to consider the starting pay for an IT person. That item, Mr. Garcia, should reflect precinct 3. And it's not necessarily precinct 3, it's just that precinct 3 commissioner requested that to be on the agenda. Obviously, this is an IT issue, which Commissioner Juan's in charge of IT department. So this is the approval to consider the starting pay for an IT person.
Judge, as you know, we had a person apply, but the pay was too low, so she went with another company. I know we don't make any adjustments during the year, but it's just something to consider, Mr. Pereira. Because I know I don't want to take money from the supplies that we have right now, but if need be later on, if we can't find anybody to come in for $15 an hour, and we're risking it, because we didn't allot all that money for it. So I would like for the court to take into consideration to increase it later on if we need to.
So there's no action.
No,
You just wanted to, informative item.
There's action, we can take action on it, Pereira, you see?
Okay. Nope. No, because you just put it to consider.
Huh?
It's just an informative item.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I looked at it.
Yeah.
No action, Mr. Garcia. 2.16, discussion and appropriate action, motion to resend repairs for a 2023 Toyota Tundra to Bears. Again, the item should reflect precinct 3.
Judge, as you know, it was a little bit higher at Bear, so I recommended we go with him. But apparently there was some miscommunication. He wanted the money up front, I told him we couldn't do that. Yes. So
So you're asking to resend to take it back.
Right, to take it back to Ford Body Shop. I went over there and left it there, but the young man told me that, it's gonna be a month by the time they even lay hands on it, they can get parts for it.
This is for the truck that you hit a pole with?
Somebody hit with it, I don't know who did, but I think it was.
The pole hit you.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It wasn't there at the entrance.
Commissioner, I don't know if I should take offense to that comment, or he should take offense to that comment. Because this is at the entrance where we almost had an accident, Miss Mary, correct?
But maybe it wasn't there before.
I guess the pole had legs. The pole hit him.
I'm not used to those big trucks.
Sometimes less is more. Like if we have, I mean, like if you stay with the smaller truck.
Yeah, I love those small trucks.
So, just to, for the record, to reflect, it's a motion to rescind, RESCIND, not to resend.
Rescind.
Rescind, like to take back.
Very good.
So, Mr. Pereira, in regards to that particular motion, does it need to come back so that we can approve? Because we didn't approve for it to go to Ford Body Shop.
The first one? The first time?
We approved, this Commissioner's Court approved for him to take the vehicle to Bear's Auto Body Shop. However, if you just heard him, he advised the court that they're requesting for the funds up front. We're not gonna do that or can't do that, so therefore he's asking for us to rescind that item, action item, and for us to approve it to be going to Ford Body Shop. So my advice, I believe in my humble opinion, is that we need to put it back on the agenda so that we can approve Ford Body Shop.
It was never approved at Fort Body Shop?
I used to see it.
No,
It was
Yeah,
approved
okay.
for Bear's
The first
Body
one.
Shop.
Okay, no, yeah, we have to come back to
That's what I'm saying, Mr. Pereira.
wherever.
So we just have Ms. Hernandez put it on the next agenda for you,
Yes, ma'am.
so that we can, because we approved it, but for Bears, so
Right.
we didn't approve, for Body Shop.
That's right. Ma'am, I have to
Yes, sir.
go. May I please
We're
go?
almost done anyways. Yes, sir. 2.17, discussion and approval, excuse me. I'll take a, motion to rescind the repairs that were approved. Motion by Commissioner Uranda, is there a second?
second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona.
Alonso. Oh, you second? What do you choose and then you're gonna vote?
Aye.
You're leaving, so my motion was. Jeez.
It's a good thing that camera is not here, man. Ahora, mira.
Hold it. Let it roll.
I need a moment. Well, I'll tell you this much, thank you guys for making me laugh today. We'll finish off with a bang. Motion by Commissioner Urenda, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.17, discussion and appropriate action, approval for travel credit cards for Dimmit County elected officials. I believe that was Mr. Ortiz's agenda item request.
I had just put this on the agenda due to the conversations y'all were having last meeting. I did look into it, and what our bank does offer is we can get a credit card, but it has to be put
On
in
the
that
name,
person's
yes.
name. And I know this is going to be more of a debate you're going to have with Mr. Pereira, but I looked with the county attorney and with legal, and if they don't pay, if they misuse the card, we can take it out of their paycheck, and every time they would take out or check out the credit card, they would just have to sign the agreement that if they don't follow the rules, they would have to pay back. I think
And it
Mr.
can- and it
Pereira
can-
is still against
And
it.
it can be, just for clarification, because I did talk to TAC as well, TAC Legal, and just to clarify and I guess get affirmation from you, was that if the elected official, for instance, we'll use Commissioner Alonso, for whatever reason didn't go to the conference or didn't feel like going or whatever, misused the card, that amount can be deducted from his paycheck, correct?
That's correct. They just have to authorize the deduction,
What's
that's
the word,
why.
Misuse,
misuse of
misappropriation.
Official conduct or whatever.
Yes, because it would be considered indebtedness to the county, and we would just take it off of their pay. But we can only authorize a payroll deduction once, if they sign off. That's why to have this paper, you have to sign it off. You have to sign off before you can get the card for that.
So that signature of them checking it out, inclusive of the rules that pertain to the use of that credit card,
Yes.
would that suffice
Yes.
for us to remove it from their paycheck?
Yes, because I checked with the Texas Workforce Commission. They had a sample, like, agreement. So I used that as a template, and I believe I provided it to y'all, so y'all could have a look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Yes, Mr. Pereira?
Yeah, but before we do that, we would have to establish the travel policy.
We do, we have,
No, we don't have anything where it says that they have to pay back or anything.
Well, that's,
Oh,
it's
it's a-
on that form that I had given them, it is there.
I know, but it has to be done as a travel policy, not as, for signing.
but the card's not just for travel, for meals, for.
No, not the meals.
Oh, no, well,
No,
this
we're
card is
talking
it's
for
only for
hotel.
hotel.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's still gonna be used for the hotel.
Correct, it's only for hotel.
I know, but that's what we need to do, establish a policy before we.
So like if you go to training and they tell you you can pay
No,
them,
maybe that's separately.
pay,
Say that again?
like when we were in Laredo at that training, that one of the judges paid for his commissioners, you can't do that?
Well, that's what Mr. Ortiz is saying. Every commissioner would have a credit card in their name.
Right.
And every time you will check that card out, you sign on it. You sign this document that the commissioner has, and that would suffice that if you misuse that card, they're gonna take it out of your paycheck.
So, okay.
But essentially what Mr. Perez is saying is that we need to devise or the proper language for,
Create a policy.
thank you, I couldn't think of the word, create the policy so that it's included in our HR policy handbook.
I put it, well, it's kind of like a mini policy, but it is there in the middle. I kind of indented it for, that's the policy of the card. But yes, it probably does need to come back.
And I believe if you misuse the card, it comes with all responsibilities that, let's just say, for example, I go to HEB and buy Pampers bread or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Now, that's,
Not for you though,
Huh?
not for you though. Not Pampers for you though.
It depends, no. But no, what I'm saying, that would be official misconduct.
I understand,
And
but all
that could
that-
be also ground for removal.
Correct, from office, you're 100% correct.
That's what we're dealing
I
with.
understand that, but that needs to be defined
But
in
we,
policy.
even if we have it in the policy, if we create a policy for it, this paper is already explaining what.
Well, I understand, but you have to explain that if you.
But if you're happy with the policy, we'll create a policy.
We'll have your policy black and white.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's defined, so if you miss an.
I like your language. Get with Mr. Ortiz so that we could use the language you just used.
Which was the.
You already forgot.
For me.
It's on camera, go back and look at it.
Gigabyte.
He says he only has a little bit gigabytes. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, this court has been, sorry,
It's been a circus.
we've been apologies to the public.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so anyway, yes, you have to define everything so that they know that if you charge a meal that you got per diem, then that has to be paid back or whatever, or can't be used once you get per
Well,
diem.
it's separate because they're just gonna give you the hotel.
I understand that.
So Oscar, I would urge you, if you could, for their next commissioners court meeting, we can get together so that we can work on a policy that is applicable to the law, one, and two, that we also mention in there that this credit card is simply for purposes of using it for hotels for the elected official. That they understand that when they sign this credit card for the elected official, that if they misuse it in any form or fashion, that it could be grounds for removal from office, and that we will pursue that to the fullest extent of the law. It's not going to be used for meals or mileage because that's going to be included in the check that we normally get with our voucher, but it's just specifically to hold rooms because we understand that sometimes it's an inconvenience to some of us, many of us, to use our own personal credit card. They take out the incidentals and whatnot, and so and we can just work on devising some kind of language for policy and bring it before Commissioners Court for approval.
That works.
Thank you. So at this time, there is no action on this item. Discussion and appropriate action approval for County Treasurer Oscar Ortiz, Nancy Avila, Eric Torres, John Michael Escamilla to attend the 2024 DASYS Platform Upgrade Training on September 7th, 2024 in Round Rock, Texas.
So this is a training for the portal that my office uses for the health insurance. They had stated that due to the upgrade, the training is required, and if you don't go to the training, you're not going to have any access to it. So I'm requesting for all of us to go that one day because it's the most cost efficient way to get it all done. Because we'll leave in the morning in my vehicle, and the only thing I'm really asking for my staff is the meals, because
What time does this class start?
it starts at noon, I believe. So we would leave around 8 to get there in time, and then it's from, I believe it was noon to 4, and then we'll come back that same day.
Well, I don't know, this is a man with a plan, but I would suggest you would stay the night before, because you don't know what could happen the night before. And if you leave right, as you're planning to leave and trying to get there on time, something might divert you from 35 or whatever that toll road is. Play it safe and don't rush. But
I mean, I don't have a problem saying it, I don't
the
mind.
only reason I'm saying is like.
It's a
if you leave
suggestion.
if congestion is bad in Austin, San Antonio, or Round Rock, whatever, you're gonna be late for the class.
Right.
So my recommendation is, but again, I don't know about this man, because he comes up with a lot of different, stay the night before, leave in the afternoon, spend the night, and yeah, of course, you're gonna have a gap there, but you're there instead of trying to rush and get involved in an accident, and then or delays you, not that I'm saying an accident, but it delays you and then you don't make a class. So we're back to page 1 where it's gonna say, y'all didn't make it to the training, y'all gonna have to pay that money back.
Right.
But nobody sees that unforeseen travel that, I don't know how the court feels, but that's my recommendation.
So I agree with you, it's just in the past, I've been told that if it's not at 8 in the morning, there's no reason to spend the night, so that's why I didn't request for it. But, I mean, if it's okay with the court, we don't mind spending the night.
Yeah, I don't have an issue.
I wholeheartedly agree with Commissioner Alonso. I think wherever or whoever they are that told you that if it doesn't start at 8, I think that's, I mean, we don't want anyone to have an accident, and as we all know, since you were probably an infant in diapers, I-35 has been trying to be worked on and has never been completed. And so I know when we went to Austin, some of us left that morning and our meeting started like at 1 and we were still late because Austin traffic is horrible. Obviously you have to go through Austin to go through Round Rock unless you take the toll roll. Toll roll costs you about $60 one way. Yes, sir, I got my letter in the mail that I got charged. I don't have special privileges like you, Mr. Pereda.
And even if they say there's no school, regardless, traffic is gonna be traffic.
Right.
Traffic's gonna be traffic.
It was
Being the college
$64.
is open or closed, it's always a congestion right
Actually, I
there.
think Mr. Ortiz, you took that toll one time and you had like a $50-$60 bill, did you not remember you told me?
Yes, in November, when I went,
I remember,
yes,
I remember you
yes.
told me that you had like he had like a 50, yes, sir.
I do it all the time, I mean, I do it all the time. It's like-
Maybe you have special license
Depends on the
plates.
little car.
Huh?
It depends on the little car.
Because I know for a fact that I've gone through that toll roll and I've paid $64. And I know Mr. Ortiz have paid somewhere in that ballpark as well for going through that toll roll to go to Round Rock. Nonetheless, again, I'm just one vote on this court, but it's just a suggestion. I mean, you're the elected official, you're the department head for your employees. You see fit however you think you want to run your office, and if you want to do the overnight, I would suggest to resubmit that voucher. We don't have to take action now.
Maybe just to be safe, can we approve this and then on the next meeting I'll put for
Approve the travel.
book for the hotel?
Yes. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda item as reflected. Mr. Garcia, subject to Mr. Ortiz following up with this court for the voucher for the overnight stay in Round Rock, Texas.
So moved, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 2.19, discussion and appropriate action approval to extend vacation hours 48.808 hours for Fernando Valderas. Anniversary date is January 11, 2024.
Morning, Ms. Mary.
Good morning. Yes, I'm just requesting, his anniversary date's coming up, and due to the resignation of one of the employees back in October, I have not been able to replace that person in that department, so he's the only one qualified in that department. Besides, we have other backups, but with tax season, it's kind of hard. So just, this is the reason why I'm asking for an extension.
Ms. Mary, do you anticipate on advising him to take some of those hours before they start accumulating?
Yes, I'm gonna advise him to take them before January, because soon we will be starting with the elections, and it's gonna be a long process.
So essentially, you just have this item just on the abundance of caution.
Yes, in case, of course, it'll probably go after the January 11th, but it'll be within the month.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't know if you guys recall, do we have any policy in place for that, Mr. Pereira? Because I remember when I first came into office, there was an issue about
It was just
the
that
previous administration not wanting to do that.
It was just that the elected official had to come before the anniversary date. So she is following that. So it's just a matter of approving the extension and for how long. But I think you said for a month.
Just for a month.
30 days. Again, I'm just one vote, I don't have a problem with it, Ms. Mary, but what I'll do is I'll entertain a motion, and then the commissioners can vote as they will wish, but I'll entertain a motion for the motion to reflect the wording that's on there, Mr. Garcia, however, that it be, vacation hours be utilized by no later than February 11th, which is that 1 month that Mr. Ortiz was talking about. February 11th of 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Uranda, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Sandoval.
Thank you.
Uh, 2.20, discussion, excuse me, discussion and appropriate action approval of the Xerox request for a new agreement.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Morning.
I'm here on behalf of the Grants and Planning Department. We need to renew our lease for
Speak to them.
We need to renew our lease for the Xerox machine. As you all may know, we have new departments in our building, and the use of the Xerox machine has gone up with all the departments. Sometimes I have some of their Xerox machines going down and having them use mine for my department. That has incremented the use on my machine, and so my machine is going out fairly quickly. But they sent me a proposal from Xerox. Sadie Rodriguez has sent me a proposal, and I was looking to see if you guys would approve that proposal.
The only thing is also that if there's an increase.
Yeah, you can ask your question.
Ms. Ortiz, is there an increase on this new lease agreement?
I am unsure at the moment, sir, because when I asked Sadie for the past agreement, she said she would look for it, and she has yet to get back to me.
How much time do we have on this contract?
So we're over, I think it was due this month. I believe I had put it in back in August or September, but I haven't made it to court until now. So I was hoping to get it approved, but I can always come back. We can come back. I could get you the information you're seeking and come back.
Well, since I was gonna suggest that we would table it for right now because January is right around the corner. We can put it on that agenda, and then you can have all the proper information we need, and the court can decide which way they want to go.
Yes, of course. I'll request that
Mr.
information
Pereira, I don't
again
think
from
this
Mr.
even needs to be an agenda item, correct? I mean, because it's within the grants. Well, we don't have the other contract, so we need to find that contract, please. You can get with Ms. Ortiz or with Ms. Hernandez at my office, because I think essentially what Commissioner would like to see, or what my understanding is that he wants to see the variance, if there was an increase in price or decrease, or if it stayed the same, before we can make an educated decision. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
I will entertain a motion to table this item.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 3.1, discussion and appropriate action, approval to open bids for 220. Thank you. Thank you. I apologize, Mr. Garcia. 2.21, discussion and appropriate action, approval to change January 1st, 2024 Commissioners Court to January the 2nd, January 15th to January 16th, 2024, February 19th, 2024 to February 20th, April 1st to April 2nd, and September 2nd to September 3rd. Mr. Garcia, where was the one you were talking to?
Yes,
I don't see it on here though.
No, it wasn't on there, but
Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm also going to include on there March 4th Commissioners Court being moved to March 7th, 2024. Just for information purposes, for our constituents, for our commissioners, these dates are happen to fall on holidays, so that's why we're requesting it to be moved to the next day. In particular, however, for the March 4th, which is in addition to this agenda item, March 4th is also a Monday. However, I've been advised that the next day is going to be elections, for the primary elections, and we obviously have several of our elected officials out for re-election. Our county clerk's office is, Mr. Garcia is a elections administrator, and in discussing with him, it became pertinent that there's a lot of logistics and a lot of concerns when having Commissioners Court that day and him not being available or his office being available. So he asked me if we would move that day to the March the 7th, and I did advise him that I would put that on here for consideration Again, I have no issue with that, Mr. Garcia, but I'm respectfully requesting that this honorable court approve those dates as shown on the agenda and to add March 4th Commissioners Court to be moved to the regular meeting of March 7th, 2024, to give Mr. Garcia the opportunity to handle all his matters from the election.
So moved, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Carmona. A motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. 3.1, discussion and appropriate action. Approval of open bids for two 2023 Dodge Charger Pursuit units. Do we have the bids? Do you have scissors? Oh, you know what? I have an open thing. I have one bid for one 2023 Charger Pursuit sealed bid that I have just opened. It appears this is a fully inclusive unit, correct, Chief? I have from Carville Can a quote for $38,800, including delivery.
30 what?
$38,800 for one vehicle, which is a 2023 Dodge Charger Pursuit V8 rear-wheel drive black. That is Carville Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram from Greenville, Tennessee. And I have another bid that I'm going to open at this time. It is from Grapevine Dodge. And it is, again, for another Dodge Charger, 2023 Dodge Charger. This has price of option 1 for 3 cars delivered is $39,248 for each car. Or option 2 is 3 cars delivered for $39,087. And let the record reflect on the bid for Carville Chrysler Dodge and Jeep out of Greenville, Tennessee. That one was the price $38,800 each. For 2 of them, the total cost was $77,600. My question to you, Chief, is one of them gives us quotes for 2, but one of them gives us quotes for 3.
I think one is supposed to be 1 for 1, but
I don't have the paperwork for you.
No, you don't, because it was a sealed bid.
Could we look at it and then come back for the next item? Because if the next one's to award.
I understand that, but I have questions, and that's why, and I'll give this to you so you can look, but if the commissioners have questions, you may ask those. I'll pass these so that you can also see them.
The only question I had, the same as you did, Judge, one's 3 cars and one's 2
I
cars.
think 2 were gonna be from, OPSG or from OLS.
We understand that, but the bid is, on one is 2 cars, and the other bid is for 3 cars.
I'm not sure how exactly.
So that's why we're questioning.
But it's still, if you break it down, it's still that you go by individuals, 38A for, as an individual unit versus, the only question I had was, what's the difference between option 1 and option 2?
The chief doesn't, no,
Okay, good.
and not to put you on the spot, Chief,
It's not
but
much,
we have
it's not much of a
questions.
difference, but it's a little cheaper.
One, what I understand, however, and I know that the sheriff advised me that he would be unavailable today, but my question is, I think initially we've been in discussion and we've put it in the past, Commissioners Court, and according to the newspaper article, I believe it's for 2 chargers, and I think that's what was gonna be approved is 2. So my question is, on here we have, the quote is for 3 vehicles, and then this one's for 2 vehicles.
I'm not sure why there's 3 on.
My saying it's supposed to be 1 from each place. That's all, or we need to talk.
1 from each.
I don't have that.
But
Well, no, Mr. Pereira, was not 1 from each, because if it was 1 from each, it wouldn't have to, we didn't have to have a bid, because they're less than $50,000, sir.
No,
Just that-
together, it would have been,
So how is it 1
I don't
from
know,
each?
I talked to the sheriff, and he's available by phone, so we're gonna look at it and ask him, because he didn't know what they were gonna bid.
I guess the only problem I know is that the quote needs to reflect what's in the newspaper.
Right. Which is 2 weeks, right.
But, because if we go with, let's say for instance, we're not voting yet or awarding, but if we go with Grapevine, their quote reflects 3 cars. So let's say for instance that this court only approves 2 cars, is that gonna affect the quote that they submitted? Because they submitted for 3 cars, not for 2 cars. So I don't know if that's gonna increase their cost.
We're gonna have to delay it, or,
That's what I was gonna suggest, if we could table it
yeah.
Yeah, I apologize, I didn't know it was.
and we can get,
So,
when the sheriff gets here, we can get the right information.
if we can, Chief, if you can relay the message to the sheriff, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna entertain a motion to table
The next item.
the approval of awarding. I'm gonna table that here momentarily.
Yeah.
And we can sit down with the auditor's office and the judge, excuse me, the sheriff can come to my office and we can clarify what really needs to be done. I want to make sure that, and I know that we're getting this through grant funds, however, we need to make sure we follow proper protocol. So, that's okay.
Judge, so do we, on 3.1?
We can approve to open the bids.
Close bids.
And
then
close
we turn
bids.
over to.
Yes, sir. And then on 3.2, we just table that one. So I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the bids, opening the bids as I just did, and close bids.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to award bids for the 2 2023 Dodge Chargers for further information and inquiry.
We're tabling that one.
I'm asking for a motion to table.
Oh, okay. So moved.
Do you want to make the motion?
No,
No, you don't want to make the motion, or you're
Yes.
going to make the motion?
I'm
Okay.
gonna make a motion, but
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
I got my spaghettios mixed up.
Hi, Commissioner. Any discussion?
No, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. 3.3, discussion and appropriate action, jail status report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? Ms. Montes, on the 6 inmates of the Operation Lone Star, those are not housed in our, okay.
No, ma'am, they're in Del Rio.
And the marshals are getting down, right? I mean, it's
We
still
went
at a low,
up,
at a
we
low.
picked up 70.
Yes, I was gonna say, because we've been in the 20s, so
Yes,
now we have
It's
32.
starting to increase.
yes, sir.
That's good. And just, Ms. Montes, on the bottom, on the asterisk, I see that you put monthly billing for the U.S. Marshals. That's the amount we're charged them, correct?
Yes.
Thank you for adding that on there. I appreciate that. So that the Commissioners Court can have a better understanding of what the costs are. Are there any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Montes.
Thank you.
4.1, discussion and appropriate action, status report in utility and regulatory compliance.
I didn't get a report in because my report was on the water well. So it's up and running again. It finished yesterday about 2:30.
So that project is complete successfully.
And we ran it for about an hour yesterday. Filled up both of, filled half of the tanks. It's up and running.
Any questions for Mr. Hyman? I'll entertain
Thank you for your hard work.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Discussion?
Thank you for your hard work.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.1, discussion appropriate action, monthly report from the County Treasurer, Mr. Oscar Ortiz, for the month of November 2023.
The only thing I really did want to highlight about my report for this past month was that I did do a lot of movement with our investments, moving around to make sure we get the best rate so the county can make the most money. And
Great.
also we've gotten most of our property tax from Ms. Sandoval, so we've been taking that money and investing it so we can have the most money we can. And then also in regards to payroll, after talking with Mr. Pereira, we kind of just wanted to highlight, there's a lot of people getting on the comp time report, and there's a few hours of overtime that's getting paid out. So I just wanted to make sure that the court would, like she said, there was 2 hires, so December should be less, but
Okay.
this was just of November.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Ortiz?
No, I have one for Mr. Pereira.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion for approval of Mr. Ortiz's monthly report.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 5.2, discussion and appropriate action, financial report from County Auditor Mr. Carlos Pereira for the month of November 2023.
Through the month of,
You can take off the mic, we can take it off now, as a matter of fact. You can pull it out.
through the month of November, we have collected On the first line, current taxes, we have collected, as the end of November, $10,801,000 in taxes. Sales tax, also want to mention, came in as November, $355,000. So that, for October and November, that's $760,000.
Good job, Ms. Sandoval.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So in total, we have $14,523,000 in revenues in the general fund. Under expenditures, through the month of November, we have $2,727,000. So that leaves revenues over expenditures of $11,796,261.
The revenues over expenditures, so total profit is where, Mr. Pereira?
$11,796,000.
Give me that number, on the paper. I don't see it on here.
Well, you have to take the revenues minus.
You're doing that on your own?
Yes.
Okay.
I have it here.
Just give me, that'll be perfect. I'll get this back to you. Is this as of
November 30th.
As of November 30th, total revenues is 11 million.
No, 14 million. Revenue.
Oh, excuse me, I'm looking at 14,523,772. And expenditures is a 2 million, correct?
Yes.
For a total revenue profit, 11 million, correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
11,796,261.52. Any other questions
Yes.
for Mr. Pereira? Yes, sir.
But do we make a motion or we can just ask the question?
If you have questions of him or his
Mr.
department,
Pereira, we're having, from what I hear, most of the elected officials here, internet problems. Yet supposedly we hired this company, and yet, from what I got from Mr. Mendez, the IT, that we're low on gigabytes or whatever, megabytes, whatever it is. Why are we having that issue if we just got this new company to repair all the issues that we have? Yet we paid them, I think we already gave our payment or whatever it is, but Mr. Mendez, if you want to kind of come up here for a second. The courthouse, my building, that feeds out from them. And Mr. Garcia, I believe he's good with his internet, but yet we're having issues with this company that we hired.
Which company?
Go ahead, Mark.
so to clarify, the last time we were here, we were advised that that you were supposed to get with IT and advise Helifox that we approved for Helifox just to be on contractual basis for backup services of the server, correct?
Correct.
And we were going to go with a different company for the internet, or was that going to be just done by Mr. Mendez?
Repeat that again, please.
The last time we were in Commissioner's Court, you suggested, and it was put on the agenda, that we only have a contractual basis service with Helifox to
Do the backup.
do the backup for the server.
Correct.
The internet and phone services,
Or something different.
I understand that, but who was supposed to be in charge of that? Because we're trying to get to the heart of the problem.
They still are. Because that,
They,
Halifax.
but that's not what the court was represented.
No, because there's a computer system, which is all the technical based, and then there's the telephone system. There's two different deals.
That's not what Mark said right
I just got
now.
off the phone with David, and he said he had spoken with you right yesterday about upgrading it as well.
Well, see, this is a problem, Mr. Pereira.
the problem is that-
Well, the problem, listen, wait, the problem is that it's unfortunate Commissioner Juan Carmona's not here because he's in charge of IT. But the problem is that there's a lack of communication between you or Mr. Mendez and Mr. Carmona. And it's causing a drift, and it's causing problems, and it's causing bad business for our county. You weren't here earlier, but Ms. Sandoval came and made a public comment. Ms. Gonzalez, our district clerk, advised the court. Ms. Justice of the Peace, Ms. Sonia Perez, advised the court that we're having a lot of problems with our internet service, with our phone service. I can tell you from personal knowledge and experience, and so can Mr. Commissioner Uranda, because he's also housed in this office. We have a lot of issues, obviously, with our phone service, our internet service. She's not able to collect taxes because of the internet, because it's down. Ms. Mari's not able to collect fines or fees or assist the district judges with whatever needs to be assisted with because she has no internet. My office can't appease to the community, our constituents, and the other electeds that need POs done because the internet's not working or the phones are not working. The JPs are getting complaints that they're being rude or not answering calls because the phone's not working. So somewhere down the line, there's a miscommunication in how we're handling IT department. It seems like we can never have any answers for any of the elected officials or for the individuals sitting up here. Because, and you can correct me, gentlemen, if I'm wrong, when we came to Commissioner's Court the last time and we approved to keep Halifax as a contractual, it was solely for Halifax to do the backup for the server. I was not aware when I made my vote that Halifax was still going to continue to do services for the internet and all that stuff, because, correct me if I'm wrong, we were here and it was said that Mr. Mendez had won the knowledge, the competency to handle these matters on his own, and therefore we did not need Halifax. Is that what was said the last time? That we were not going to need Halifax's services, or David for that matter, because David charges us for every phone call, for every minute, every second that Mr. Mendez is on the phone, which we get a bill a mile long every time he calls for advice, for assistance. And Mr. Mendez assured us that he had the ability and capability to handle it on his own. But we're still having issues. And we are trying to get down to the bottom, the core issue, to resolve it, because it's bad for business that we're having these issues. I don't want to Ms. Sandoval, as the chief officer of Dimmit County, to think that I don't care about her internet, or Ms. Gonzalez to think I don't care about her internet, or any other elected for that matter. I've tried to work diligently with Commissioner Carmona. I'm not going to micromanage Commissioner Carmona. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but I will advise him. And I'm sure he already, I've gone on his last nerve, because I'm constantly calling him. And at this point, there has to be some kind of resolution. And you're saying that we have two different companies, one for phone, one for internet. Mr. Mendez just advises that it's all the same thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. He just advised a little while ago when you weren't here that they're all the same. You're saying they're not all the same. So where is the problem? I mean, because this has to get fixed. He mentioned that David told him that we need more gigabytes in order for the process server to work faster, to be able to hold the capability that it is for everyone in this building, in addition to the people at the fire department, which really is mainly himself and Miss Flo. However, we're having issues with the internet. So can we have an answer? I mean, something has to be resolved, Mr. Pereira.
Mr. P, and let me tell you, the prison office doesn't have no money or anything like that. But when the constituents call, your office calls us on the cell phone. Hey, your phones are down, your internet's down. And you know what's sad about it? that they asked, and I'm not blaming them, but it's slow in the office. Closing the office, working from 8 to 5. But yet she doesn't get the phone calls. Why? Because we have this issue with the phone line. And we're feeding out from here to the fire station. And how many times have I called you, Mr. Mendez? Our internet's down, our phones are not working. What's going on? But the thing is that most of this other department think that our secretary is not there. And it's not fair for her to be blamed that she's not picking up the phone because she's there. And she's like, my phone has never rang.
But that's why I'm saying again, Commissioner, it's bad for business. It's, like you said earlier, you told Ms. Sandoval, or the judge, I think, whoever you told, it's the whole county. It is, and it's bad for business because, of course, you have to be protective of your staff because that's your staff and your reputation, if you will. I have to protect my staff. She has to protect hers, and she has to protect hers, and Judge Sonia has to protect hers. But it's bad for business. We're all getting, in one form or fashion, the constituents are upset, and they have every right to be upset because obviously taxpayers' money is paying these bills. And so what I'm saying is that why are we having, is there a lack of communication, or is there not an understanding, or do we need to have someone else spearhead IT, or what is the problem that we cannot get the internet and the phone services to work?
Okay. Those were two different contracts that we had with Halifax. We've always had the telephones and internet with them for the last, since it was awarded.
But I thought we had already approved and agreed that we were not going to have them
because we're going
provide our services because they keep us hostage every time.
And we're going to go up for bids on that. The ones that you all terminated were basically the ones that Mr. Mendez could handle without getting them, and that would be like the computers and all that.
So mainly what we terminated, the services we terminated Halifax for was simply for hands-on things that Mr. rebooting the computer or connecting.
It was just for the technical support.
The technical support is what we
And the
did.
tickets though. They don't help out with tickets no more, like at all.
So that's what we terminated because we were paying
I think,
for that.
like I said, there's an extreme lack of communication. I think there needs to be better clarification because I don't think any of us realized that they were still gonna be on. I know that we were gonna go out for bids and we said we're just gonna go through the end of December and we're gonna get try to get new bids for providers, but
No, that was the one through November was for a company that was going to do the support for the computers. That was what relevant.
okay, I think at this point,
because,
the
like I
problem
said,
is not having support. I think we can all agree that Mr. Mendez is educated and competent enough to give us support, because he's come to my office and he does his little thing and I'm back on. So I think we're not questioning his capability for support and technical support. What we're questioning is the actual server, the process server. So Mr. Mendez told us right now that in order for us to stop being dropped or her stuff to work, we need to have higher gigabytes for the internet.
okay.
So now, what do we need to do so that we can get the court to approve higher gigabytes? Let's find a contract, let's get the price so we can approve it.
Because my understanding was that it was something with Spectrum and
Yeah, and
the issue was with them, although they've been denying it all this time.
Okay, so if the problem's within Spectrum, in-house with Spectrum, and you're saying that Spectrum is denying.
Has been denying all this time, right?
Okay, well, obviously they're not taking accountability. Can we work together in finding other companies or another organization or another service aside from Spectrum that can help us? There's I know Spectrum's not the only one. I know historically speaking, Spectrum is the one to use on a business side, but I'm sure, I mean, we've gone to conferences and there's other servers there. So it has to fix, Mr.
No, I
Pereira,
understand
because
that. And they were working on it. My understanding, right?
some of us are here full-time. Some of us are here full-time and we work 8 to 5 and we have to deal with the internet problem. So sometimes when we call you to bother you because the internet's not working, the internet's not working. So I would highly recommend for the next Commissioners Court meeting, that we can maybe get some possibilities of changing from Spectrum, because you just testified right now that they don't want to take accountability because the internet's messing up.
Right, and in fact, I did tell the Halifax that if he was getting emails from them saying that it wasn't their fault, and it is, that and what they were gonna do about it, that we wanted a copy of it.
No, I got a question. At one time, and I don't know if the court remembers, Mr. Mendez made a comment that Halifax would control who had internet or who did it.
Yes, they were holding us
It
hostage.
was like, they were holding us like hostages because if for some reason Miss Mary's internet would go out, it would come back to the fire department, or to the precinct office, not the fire department. But, and then if the judge's internet went out, it would go to the district clerk, just per se saying. But then all of a sudden, it's like they would get done with what they needed to done, then we would come back to our offices and have internet. Is that correct, Judge?
Correct.
And now, I'm just trying to figure out, does Halifax have control, or that David, whoever it is, has control of the internet?
Yeah, so they have, they basically, as of I know, that I believe that we pay them for the internet service to come in, right? And for the speed itself, because I just got off the phone that the plan is now that as of yesterday, that Spectrum's doing a 24-hour anomaly check on the internet for the building because it is dropping, and they are seeing that as well. So, and also that they are gonna upgrade the speed, but not to the 1,000 just yet. They are gonna upgrade it to see if it still drops, to see if it's still considered the speed is. They're gonna double the speed that we have right now, and to see if it still drops the bandwidth, and if it still drops, then it would still be the Spectrum too. So that's just as I know. I got the call like 30 minutes ago.
What can we do to fix this?
That's what they're doing. That's what
Yeah, so we have been
What
working.
about, and I'm just asking, what about satellite?
Satellite for
Satellite
for the internet. That would be with like Starlink, but that's not really like, you can't get super fast internet. It's not like enterprise level. It's more like on the road for the side. As of I know, it's more like Starlink. They use that like at the football games to connect to the Wi-Fi and anywhere you go.
But you're not having like a ground-based.
See, I'm just gonna, I know it's different, but because of where we live, this Spectrum and AT&T and all that, they can't provide, even though they put it out in commercials, they cannot provide the service for us because we're not wired up as a community, as a rural area, we're not wired up to be as fast as San Antonio to Paso Laredo. So, I'm just gonna, honestly, a satellite product is what we work for us one time.
What I'm gonna, we sit in a lower level than anybody else. Because we know our phones, as Chief Miss Ruth, they're in a certain area, they don't have phone service. I'm in a certain area, out in the county, and I can understand, I was given the explanation that we sit in a lower level where we can reach the antennas, and even the radios, but which is a little bit different. But there's gotta be a way to rectify this problem. We're having too many issues, and this is going on. And we're just, as elected officials, the community doesn't see us stepping up to the plate and correct the problem, because we keep going to the same picture over and over and over. But yet, we can be criticized that you're not doing what you're supposed to, you have an IT people, you don't have, good. David doesn't have to come into the picture at all. The thing is, we have this issue, and it's an ongoing issue. And at the bottom line, like I said, I'm not putting anybody on which department, but to be asked, where's your secretary, where's this Mary, why is Mary not answering the telephone? Guys, I called you, and you don't return my calls. You know, sometimes there's no reason for us to be, I'm not saying, but to be calling each other on our cell phone, which is paid, but we respond, but our phones are public. But if we can call office to office, it eliminates that problem. We're more proactive on that department, having everybody's internet working, than, because the judge might send an important emergency email, and I'm sitting in my office, and I don't get that email, and she's gonna call me, where you at? Well, I'm sitting here in my office. I just sent you an email. Oh, it's not working. You see what I'm saying? We need to rectify this problem. We've been sitting on it too long.
Thank you.
I have a question. Marky, do you know what Spectrum did on Tuesday?
Yes.
Because to my understanding, I know they were here.
Yes, they did give us a new, I believe, a modem and router. And I was on the phone with Pax, who had just called me, and they said that I believe that that's probably what was the issue with it going down.
Because before, when we would lose
The connection, right? It would be temporary.
we would be able to log back in. Now, since they came in, we can't. So maybe Spectrum is a problem.
And that's why I'm saying, we need to try to be proactive and perhaps find a different service company to provide internet here. An alternative to Spectrum. I mean, because to me, essentially, like I mentioned earlier, we're just putting a Band-Aid on a problem that's never going to get repaired, because there's no accountability. And if Spectrum is just pointing the fingers, saying it's this, this, and this, or like Mr. Mendez said right now, they're rebooting, or they're what, I can't think of the word, troubleshooting.
It's like a matter of trying to think so it's resolved. But I have been working on it nonstop. Like, I've been here like every single time people call, and then I'm really the only one.
No, and I understand that. What I'm saying is that at some point, we have to just call it what it is. And if Spectrum's the problem, then we have to go to alternative options or alternative plans, because like I said, it's affecting the way we conduct business here in Dimmit County on all different levels, with all different departments, with all elected officials. And again, I know that there's other providers, and I know that we're a rural community, and we may, be at a different level, if you will, than San Antonio per se. But I'm sure that there's other providers out there that are specific in the services they provide to rural communities, because it's not working.
Yeah.
And them troubleshooting every other day to justify the work that they do to appease us for a little bit, that's not gonna fly, Mr. Pereira, because she's losing money, Ms. Gonzalez is losing money, our office, the JPs are losing money. They work off of revenues. Thank goodness it's not, thank goodness it's not affecting for county court, the fines and all that, we're working on that, but she collects revenue in the form of taxes. Ms. Mari collects revenue in the form of fines and fees. Commissioner Urena's office upstairs collects revenue in the form of the utility payments. So Maribel at the sanitation downstairs collects fees in the form of the sanitation services we provide for the trash pickup. So everybody is losing money. The county is losing money simply because we don't want to call it what it is, and that is that Spectrum's not working for us.
Right, and basically we had never looked at it, the Spectrum, it was always, wasn't working.
Let's always just blame IT department. Yes, that's what it is, and we can't do that.
So yes, we'll start working to see what services are available and which one, if we would be in a better situation with somebody else, I guess.
Other questions?
No.
And if we can make that urgent, Mr. Pereira, because as we sit here, Ms. Sandoval's losing money, Ms. Mari is losing money.
Judge, I just want to say one more thing.
Yes.
Marky, I want you to know that I appreciate what you're trying to do. It's hard when the server is not stepping up to the plate because it puts all the pressure on you. And I know every time I've called you, you've been readily available and you've helped out in every way you can. And I know you've got a line that you can't cross once the problem is beyond your point or your control, you know, and I don't want you to think that we're putting this all on you. It's just that we're trying to figure out which way to go, and you're the man really to go to, so, but I do appreciate what you're trying to do.
Same here. So get together with him, Mr. P, and get it done.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
For you, not for Ricardo.
Say that again?
I meant that for Marky, not Ricardo.
No, I mean, I don't think at any point we're questioning your capability, Marky. I can say firsthand, every time that my office has called, you've always been professional, you've always tried to assist us, and you're pretty honest, and when you say you can't do it, you can't do it, and you'll tell us. Some of us in each department might not like that answer, but it is what it is. If you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it, and that's okay. But
Yeah, and I have been working, like my biggest help, to be honest, that I have for questions is always Chris, because he's the past administration. And he's been here on property 3 times, and he has been helping me. So it's like, we've all been working together. We still can't really, like, solve it.
yes,
That's why it's very frustrating.
And I think at the end of the day, the answer to all the problems is that it seems to be the internet and phone provider. And at some point, like I said, we just have to come to terms that that's the problem and seek other options. And if we could just put that as a pressing and urgent matter, Mr. Pereira, because it has to get fixed. I mean, we have taxes coming up in January, is what Ms. Sandoval said, and I know Ms. Madi has court at least once or twice, 3 times a month with the different judges, so it's really important that we get that taken care of.
And Mr. Woman,
Yes.
And just to let you know, when we set the security system in here, with cameras and all that, the metal detector and all this, it's gonna bring that thing down. Because now you're putting more cameras, and like you said, it's all feed that comes in. But your work is deeply appreciated. Don't take me wrong, 'cause I call you, you're there. The only thing is, that I can say I commend you for your work. But unfortunately, you're just the middleman, and you're between a rock and a hard place. But we just need to get this Mr. P taken care of.
That's also a good note to consider, Mr. Mendez and Mr. Pereira, when we're looking for other options. And I guess, Marky, where they told you for the gigabytes to consider, because at some point we have to, need to be in compliance with courthouse security, and considering that we're going to have to put all that stuff taking that into consideration for the process server speed, because that's also going to take.
The same way I did the cameras at the gym, I could do them here as well.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Pereira?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Claim docket. The general fund is $271,974.58. Dimmit County Clerk, $2,843.40. Dimmit County District Clerk is $5,150.83. Dimmit County Airport is $3,648.08. Dimmit County Golf Course, $2,331.15. Law Library, $798. Utilities, $19,316.86. Rodeo Arena, $510. Dimmit County payroll, $271,85, for a grand total of $670,844.75.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Urenda. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. There's no matters for executive session. I will, at this time, entertain a motion to recess and adjourn the regular Commissioners Court meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Garcia, the meeting has ended. The time now is 12:09, and I will call to order the public facility meeting. Roll call, I'll let you go ahead and do roll call because we have absence.
County Judge Marta Alicia Gomez Ponce,
Present,
Commissioner Jose Urenda,
Ready.
Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Here.
Commissioner Juan Carmona, Commissioner Valerie Rubuta. 2 absent.
we have 2 absences. We do have 3 members of the court here, therefore we do have a quorum. 1.3, approval of minutes of regular meeting on December 11th, 2023.
So moved.
I'll entertain a motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Urenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 2.1, discussion and appropriate action, new business. We don't have a representative here for the public facilities, so I will entertain a motion to table.
Motion to table.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda, second by
Second, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.1, discussion appropriate action, monthly report on the public facilities.
So through November, excuse me, through November, we've collected $145,000 in leases from the Border Patrol, and we've spent $58,000 through November. That includes a payment for the insurance for the building.
Mr. Pereira, you said 145?
In revenue, right? That's $144,000 from the lease and $1,000 in interest earned.
Where's that reflective on the report?
On
Is
the
it-
revenues,
I understand, but the revenues, it says,
year-to-date actual,
year-to-date actually has 286,750. Am I correct?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we have 2 different.
He was wrong, we caught it, and so that's the correct one. You should have done a.
No, I got the one here.
We all have the one I have.
Did you bring the updated one? Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But that, no, that's the correct one right there.
So,
This was,
you didn't turn in the proper one then?
no. No, because this was wrong. That's what we caught it.
What was wrong about this one?
It basically had, we got August and September payments were recorded under revenues, which they were recorded for last year. And that's why we corrected it, and it's only 2 months, that we, October, November.
So the 286 is not the correct.
Okay,
He didn't turn it in.
Okay.
He turned in the wrong one.
We turned it wrong, but they were supposed to bring the new one in.
They
Can you
didn't.
get copies?
Yes, we'll get your copies.
So, for the record, Mr. Pereira will give you copies, but I'm gonna just advise you the revenue as of November 30th for the public facilities is $145,083.66. And the expenses through November was $58,809.98.
I'm sorry, guys, can you repeat, please?
Yes, sir.
The revenue?
The revenue is $145,083.66. And the expenses were $58,809.98 for a total revenue of $86,273.68.